بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين، وأفضل الصلاة وأتم التسليم على نبينا الهادي الأمين المبعوث رحمة للعالمين، وعلى آله وصحبه الطيبين الطاهرين، ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين. أما بعد.
After praising Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and saying salam and salat and salam on the Messenger sallam and his companions and followers, the Shaykh said,
فهذا أيها الإخوة مجلسنا الأخير في هذه الدورة المباركة.
This is our last sitting, last lecture in this blessed seminar,
والتي تجولنا فيها
in which we traveled within it
جولات علمية متنوعة
different knowledge-based travel,
سواء منها ما كان ابتداء في الحديث
whether we started with hadith, as we started with hadith,
ثم ما ختمنا به من الكلام في العقيدة وتزكية النفوس.
then what we finished talking or what we finished this seminar talking about aqidah, belief, and also purification of the soul, tazkiyah.
وما في طيات ذلك من مسائل علمية وفقهية ودعوية شتى.
And whatever is involved within that of the different issues that have to do with knowledge, that has to do with jurisprudence, fiqh, and that has to do with da'wah or inviting and calling to Allah.
والآن بإذن الله تعالى سنطالع الفصل الأخير.
Now we're going to go through the last section
من مقدمة العلامة عبد الرحمن بن يحيى المعلم اليماني
of the introduction of Al-Allama Abdurrahman ibn Yahya al-Muallimi
على كتابه القائد إلى تصحيح العقائد.
to his book, The Guide to Correcting the Creed.
قال:
He said,
فصل: إن قيل لا ريب أن الإنسان ينشأ على دين واعتقاد ومذهب وآراء يتلقاها من مربيه ومعلمه.
This section starts by saying, if it is said that there is no doubt that the human being is raised upon a religion, a belief, a methodology or a position, and opinions that he receives from his trainer or his teacher.
ويتبع فيها أسلافه أي من سبقه من المقدمين عنده وأشياخه الذين تمتلئ مسامعه بإطرائهم أي بمدحهم وتأكيد أن الحق ما هم عليه وبذم مخالفيهم وثلبهم أي الطعن فيهم، فيكون رأيه وهواه متعاضدين أي مجتمعين على اتباع أسلافه ومخالفة مخالفيهم.
He said that the person is raised upon his religion, belief, methodology, opinion that he receives from his trainer or his teacher, and he follows in that those former people that he respects and his shuyukh, his scholars, and his ears are filled with praising those shuyukh that he's following and emphasizing that the truth is what they are upon. And also his ears are filled with dispraising the opponents of his teachers and defaming them and emphasizing that they are upon misguidance. So his heart now is filled with glorifying and aggrandizing his predecessors and hating their opponents.
طبعا هذا كله إشكال. المؤلف يقول إن قيل، هو يطرح الإشكال ثم سيجيب عليه.
All of this he's presenting it as a problem that he will respond to.
ثم قال متمما للإشكال: ويتأكد ذلك أي في موضوع التعصب وتعاضد الرأي والهوى في اتباع الأسلاف ومخالفة من خالفهم.
So he said that then his opinion, his position and his desires will be supporting one another upon following his predecessors and opposing their opponents. And this is emphasized by him. تفضل يا شيخ.
ويتأكد ذلك بأنه يرى أنه إن خالف ما نشأ عليه من المذهب أو الرأي أو الاعتقاد أو الدين رماه أهله وأصحابه بالكفر والضلال وهجروه وآذوه وضيقوا عليه عيشته. هذا الذي يراه يجعله يستمر على ما هو عليه من هذا الضلال العريض.
The author goes on, and this is emphasized by him seeing that if he goes against what he was raised upon of opinion, belief, methodology, religion, if he goes against what he was raised upon, then his people, his family, his friends, they will accuse him of disbelief and misguidance. They will boycott him, they will abandon him, they will harm him, and they will narrow down for him his livelihood, the means of his livelihood. The Sheikh said, so therefore, when he sees that, then he will choose to remain upon the misguidance that he is upon.
ثم قال ولكن هذه الحالة يشترك فيها من نشأ على باطل ومن نشأ على حق، بمعنى أن كليهما يرى أنه على صواب. حتى الضال لا يقول أنا ضال، الكافر لا يقول أنا كافر، فكيف بصاحب الحق؟ فهذه الصورة من حيث الحقيقة أو هذا الحال من حيث الحقيقة واحد يتكرر في من نشأ على باطل وفي من نشأ على حق على حد سواء.
The author says, but this condition, it is shared by the one who is raised upon falsehood and the one who is raised upon the truth. The Sheikh said that both of them, they view themselves to be upon what is correct. Even the misguided, he doesn't say about himself he is misguided. Even the disbeliever, he doesn't say about himself that he is a disbeliever. So how about the person who is upon the truth? So this condition, the condition that it is repeated, that everyone thinks he is upon what is correct. This condition is repeated regarding the one who is raised upon falsehood or raised upon the truth. They are equal in this regard. Both of them have this feeling.
قال فإذا دعونا الناس إلى الاستيقاظ للهوى، الاستيقاظ للهوى التنبه له والحذر منه، وبينا لهم أثره أي سوءه وضلاله وضرره أي الخطر الناشئ عنه، فمن شأن ذلك أن يشككهم فيما نشأوا عليه. عندما نقول لهم تنبهوا للهوى وتنبهوا لما فيه من ضرر سيكون ذلك بابا للتشكيك، ولكن هذا التشكيك قد يصيب أهل الحق ويصيب أهل الباطل، يصيب من نشأ على الحق ويصيب من نشأ على الباطل، وهنا مكمن الإشكال.
The author said that this condition is shared by the one who's raised upon falsehood or raised upon the truth. So if we call the people to wake up to the desires, meaning that they should be alarmed, they should be cautious regarding their desires, and we clarify to them its effect and its harm, meaning we clarify to them the danger that will result from following desires, then this will make them doubt that which they are raised upon. So if we tell them to wake up and look and search, the people who are upon the truth, they will now doubt, and the people upon falsehood, now they will start doubting. And this is the problem that he wants to solve, that those who are on truth will be doubting also like the ones who are on falsehood. So this is the issue that there is lying there. تفضل يا شيخ.
وهذا أي دعوة الناس إلى الاستيقاظ للهوى والتنبه له والحذر منه وما سيكون إثر ذلك من تشكيك، وهذا إنما ينفع من نشأ على باطل حتى يراجع موقفه وحتى يتذكر ويتفكر ويؤوب ويرجع إلى الحق. فأما من نشأ على حق فإن تشكيكه أي بهذا الحق ضرر محض، لأنه سيؤثر على ما نشأ عليه من حق. والعلة في ذلك أي أنه ضرر محض لأن غالب الناس عاجزون عن النظر. أغلب الناس عاجزون عن النظر والترجيح والبحث والمناقشة، مما سيكون ذلك ذا أثر سلبي عليهم نتيجة ذلك التشكيك الناتج عن دعوتهم إلى الاستيقاظ للهوى والتنبه له والتحذير منه. هذا كله هو الإشكال، فما الجواب؟
The author says, so if we call the people to wake up to the desires and we clarify to them its effect and its harm, so this will lead to them doubting what they were raised upon. And this doubting of what they are raised upon, this would only benefit the one who was raised upon falsehood. As for the one who was raised upon the truth, then making him doubt, this is a pure harm. This is a pure harm. That is because most of the people are unable to look and to examine. So here the Shaykh said that making the one who is upon falsehood doubt and wake up to the desires and to be cautioned against it, this will make him retract. It will make him repent. But then making the one who is upon the truth doubt, this is now going to have an effect, a negative effect on the one who was raised upon the truth. And the problem is that the majority of the people, they are unable to basically discuss, pursue the truth and do researches and things like that. So there is a problem in this. That is the problem. What was mentioned here is the problem. So what is the reply to this? What is the solution to this problem?
قال المؤلف: قلت أي جوابا على هذا الإشكال المطالب على 3 أضرب. المطالب جمع مطلب وهو ما يطلب في الدين، والأضرب جمع ضرب وهو النوع، كأنه يقول المطلوبات في الدين على 3 أنواع.
He said, I say, replying to this, that the things that are requested, meaning religiously requested from the people, are upon 3 kinds. They are upon 3 types of required matters.
الأول العقائد التي يطلب الجزم بها ولا يسع جهلها. إذن أول شيء وهو أهم شيء العقائد، لكن كأن المؤلف يشير إلى أن العقائد نوعان. النوع الأول الذي صدر به كلامه العقائد التي يطلب الجزم بها ولا يسع جهلها، بمعنى هل الإيمان بالله وكتبه ورسله واليوم الآخر كالإيمان بعقيدة دون هذه العقائد؟ فلنقل مثلا عقيدة ظهور المسيح الدجال أو نزول عيسى ابن مريم، هذه عقائد، لكن هل هي بمرتبة تلك العقائد؟ تلك العقائد أركان الإيمان. هذه العقائد واجبة ومطلوبة لكنها دونها في الأهمية. قال ولا يسع جهلها. ممكن الإنسان يجهل أن عيسى بن مريم سينزل، لكن لا يمكن أن يجهل الإيمان بالله ولا بالكتب ولا بالرسل ولا باليوم الآخر. هذه أركان الإيمان. لذلك قال ولا يسع جهلها، أي لا يمكن جهلها. وهذا ما يسمى عند العلماء المعلوم من الدين بالضرورة. والمعلوم من الدين بالضرورة هو ما لا يسع جهله وما يستوي في معرفته العالم والجاهل، لكن مقدار هذا العلم يتفاوت بحسب علم هذا وجهل ذاك.
He says that the belief, the first one, there are three things that are religiously required. The first one is the beliefs in which certainty is required in them. It is required to be certain about them, and being ignorant about them is not excused or is not something that is allowable. So the Sheikh here, he says the first thing is the matter of aqidah, and this is the most important thing, the belief. But the author, as if he is pointing out to the fact that beliefs are of two types, meaning that believing in Allah, believing in His books and the messengers, the last day, are they like the beliefs that are less in degree than them? Like, for instance, believing in the emergence of Al-Masih al-Dajjal, the Antichrist, or believing in the coming down of Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam. These are also beliefs, coming of the Antichrist and Isa ibn Maryam alayhi salatu wasalam. These are beliefs also. But then are they in the same level as those other beliefs that are mentioned, believing in Allah, the messengers, the books, and so on and so forth? He said, no, those ones are pillars of faith. Believing in Allah, the messengers, and the last day, these are pillars of faith. Those other beliefs, they are obligations. They are compulsory beliefs that we must believe in, but they do not carry the same level as the pillars or the foundations of al-Islam and al-Iman. Now, someone may be ignorant of the coming of the Antichrist, but then he cannot be ignorant of the pillars of faith. So these pillars of faith is what is called, what is known from the religion by necessity. And this is something that one cannot be, it's not possible or it's not allowable that one will be ignorant regarding it. It is something that the knowledgeable person knows and the ignorant person knows about Islam. So this is the difference between the two types.
ثم ذكر الثاني بقية العقائد كما قلنا، وهو ما هو خارج عن أركان الإيمان التي لا يتم إيمان المسلم إلا بها، وهي مطلوبة. هذا النوع الثاني مطلوب، لكن أهميته ومنزلته أقل شك ولا ريب من مطلوب المسلم أو المطلوب من المسلم في أركان الإيمان.
So the first what is requested, religiously requested from the human being or the servant of Allah, the first one, the beliefs in which certainty regarding them is required and is not possible, not allowable, not acceptable for one to be ignorant about them. The second requested religious matter is the rest of the belief. The rest of the belief. The Sheikh said this is what is outside of the pillars of faith, and these rest of beliefs or the other beliefs, they are required, they are requested, they are compulsory, but then their importance and status is less than the first type of requirements in terms of belief. They are less than the pillars of faith.
الثالث الأحكام، أي الأوامر والنواهي فيما يتعلق بالعبادات والمعاملات التي طلبها الله تعالى من العبد أو نهاه عنها.
The third requested religious matter is the rulings, the religious rulings pertaining to what Allah has commanded and what Allah has forbidden regarding the acts of worship, regarding the transactions, those matters that Allah commanded or prohibited.
قال فأما الضرب الأول، يعني النوع الأول، فسنبين إن شاء الله تعالى أن النظر فيه ميسر لكل أحد، يعني معرفة أركان الإيمان ميسرة لكل أحد. وإن كنت قلت وأكرر أن نظر العالم غير نظر العامي، لكن من حيث التيسير هو ميسر للجميع.
As for the first kind, which the beliefs that one must be certain about, as for the first kind, then we will clarify insha'Allah ta'ala that looking in it, reflecting about it or looking into that is made easy for everyone. So knowing the pillars of faith, the Sheikh said, knowing the pillars of faith is facilitated, is made easy for everyone. Although I did say before, and I will repeat again, that the way the scholar looks at these issues is not the same way that the layman would be able to look at it, but then this is made easy for all.
وأن النظر العقلي المتعمق فيه لا حاجة إليه، يعني ما دام أن النظر إليه في هذه الأركان الإيمانية متيسرة لكل أحد، فالنظر العقلي المتعمق فيه أي الزائد عن الحد والزائد عن المطلوب لا حاجة إليه. وهو أي كأنه يقول لأنه مثار الشبهات وملجأ الهوى ومنشأ الضلال. بينما لو أخذنا الأمور على فطرتها بعموم الأدلة من الكتاب والسنة في باب الإيمان بالله واليوم الآخر والكتب والرسل إلى آخر أركان الإيمان، فإننا نقبل ذلك بكل رحابة صدر وبكل انشراح عقل. فإذا تعمقنا نظرا عقليا كان ذلك سببا لإثارة الشبهات وإنشاء الخلل والخلاف وما أشبه ذلك.
He said that the exaggerated or the extreme intellectual type of researching into this type of believing in Arkan al-Iman, that is the basic beliefs, there is no need for it at all. Rather, it is the reason why doubts and misconceptions are going to start and going to be initiated. And it is the place for desires and the place where the misguidance will be initiated and will be started. So as this will be clarified inshaAllah ta'ala. So the Sheikh emphasized the same point, that believing in the basic beliefs of Arkan al-Iman, this is the pillars of faith, is made easy for everyone. It is clear. For one to try to be too much intellectual about it, sort of going too deep into pondering and reflecting into it, then this will actually work in the opposite way, and it will start bringing doubts and misconception, and it will lead one to be misguided.
قال فمن استجاب لتلك الدعوة، وهي الدعوة إلى النظر الميسر دون التعمق، فإنما تدعوه أي هذا الدعوة إلى النظر الفطري الشرعي مخلصا من شوائب الهوى. ما دام رجع إلى الفطرة فالفطرة مناقضة للهوى، وما زال رجع إلى النظر الميسر بعيدا عن النظر العقلي، فهذا من أسباب تخلصه وتخليصه من هذا الهوى.
He said, so the one who is going to respond to that invitation, meaning that invitation of looking to the looking to matters in the intellectual, the easy intellectual reflection, not the extreme. So for one to respond to that invitation to think and ponder and to reflect, then we are only calling him to look to the reflection that is based on his natural inclination, the innate nature, and that is the legal type of reflection, legal type of research that is pure from the impurities of desires, of the impurities of desires. So the Sheikh said that we are going to have him go back to his fitra, his natural inclination, or his innate nature, which is naturally inclined towards loving the truth, which goes against, which is in conflict. His natural inclination is conflicting with desires. Also, we are calling him, the one whom we are calling to reflect and ponder, to wake up from the call of desires. We are calling him only to look the easy type of research, which is going to save him from desires. We are not asking him to go into the deep intellectual thinking that is closer to philosophizing matters. We are not calling him to that. Rather, we are calling him to the simple type of looking and examining of proofs that will save him from following desires. تفضل الشيخ.
قال فإن كان الناظر سابقا على حق، فإن كان الناظر أي هذا الناظر الذي نظر تلك الشرعية إذا كان سابقا على حق، يعني من النوع الذي نشأ على حق، فإنه يتبين له بهذا النظر الذي هو النظر الميسر دون النظر العقلي المعمق، فإنه يتبين له بهذا النظر أنه حق، ليزداد الذين آمنوا إيمانا تأكيدا وتأكدا، فيلزمه أن يلتزمه ويثبت عليه وقد صفى له وخلص، أي ظهر له نقيا صافيا بعيدا عن التشكيك والشبهة، ونجا من اتباع الهوى الذي قد تخلص منه نتيجة هذا النظر الصادق، وصفت له الطمأنينة بالبعد عن الشك والتشكيك.
The author said, so the one who responds to this call, the call of following the truth and leaving desires and checking things out what he is upon. That is, so then we are only calling him to the research that is based on the innate nature, that is based on the legislation, that is pure, shying away from the impurities of desires. So he said, now this person who is now looking into matters, checking things out, checking what he is upon, if he was earlier upon the truth, now if this person, he was from the people who were on the truth from the beginning, then by this type of research, it will become clear. Yani the Sheikh said this research and reflection that is based on the easy type of intellectual looking at matters, not the away from philosophizing matters. With this looking that he will do, with this research that he will do, it will now, since he was upon the truth, it will become clear to him that he is upon the truth. So then he will stick to it, and this truth that he is upon now has become crystal clear and became pure for him, because now he looked into it and he found that he is upon the truth. Now he will be saved from following the desires, and peace and comfort will be now very much purified for him, because he was upon the truth. We called him to check what he is upon, and he did that based on the innate nature, which is inclined to the truth, and based upon the easy type of intellectual understanding and comprehension. So this will lead him to see that he is upon the truth, and therefore he will stick to it, and he will be completely at peace with the truth that he is upon. تفضل.
قال وأما الضرب الثاني يعني النوع الثاني يقصد من العقائد.
As for the second kind, meaning from the beliefs, the rest of the beliefs,
التي ليست هي من أركان الإيمان,
which are not from the foundations or the pillars of Iman,
والتي قد يقع في بعضها الجهل,
and which some people may fall into ignorance regarding them.
قال فمن كان قائلا بشيء منه أي من هذا النوع من العقائد.
So the one who had a position regarding it from this type of beliefs, the one who was taking a position regarding those secondary type of beliefs.
عن حجة صحيحة يعني إذا كان قوله مبنيا على حجة صحيحة.
So the one who was believing in it based upon a sound proof.
فإن الاستجابة لتلك الدعوة يعني بالنظر الميسر دون التعمق.
So for him to respond to that call, meaning that call and invitation to look into the matters based on the easy type of research and reflection, intellectual reflection.
لا تزيد تلك الحجة إلا وضوحا، والحجة طبعا هي في الأصل صحيحة، لكن قد يكون هذا الشيء الصحيح فيه بعض غموض، فيه شيء من عدم الوضوح، فبمزيد من النظر العقلي الميسر البعيد عن التعمق تزداد الحجة وضوحا.
He said, as for this second type of beliefs, that is, so the one who is believing in any of that based on a sound proof, so then for him to respond to that invitation of ours to look into what he is upon, to check what he is upon, based on, again the Sheikh emphasizes on the easy intellectual type of looking, not the one that is so extreme. Him responding to that call, then it will not increase the proof that he is upon except in clarity. It will increase him in terms of clarity. As the Sheikh said before, it will so that the believers will be increased in faith. So the one who had some doubts, he has a belief regarding something, but maybe he had some problem or some doubt about it. When he is looking at it and rechecking his proofs about it, now this will make him more sure and more certain about what he believes in, because he was already believing in the truth. By researching it more, he will only be increased in certainty or in clarity about it.
مع الخلاص عن الهوى، أي فوق وضوح حجته فإنه سيتخلص عن الهوى.
Meaning, this is now, it will not increase it except in clarity, along with him being saved from desires. So, by him rechecking what he is upon, alongside or more than the fact that he will be more clear in terms of evidence about his beliefs, this now will save him and will purify him from following desires.
قال وإلا أي إن لم يكن هذا الاعتقاد عن حجة صحيحة فالجهل بهذا الضرب أي بهذا النوع من العقيدة وهو الذي ليس ركنا إيمانيا خير من القول فيه بغير حجة. وإن صادف الحق، قد يقول الإنسان كلمة يعني رب كلمة كما يقال يلقيها عشوائيا، رب رامية بغير رام فتصادف الحق، هذا قد يكون آثما لقوله على الله بغير حق وإن وافق الحق، لأن موافقته للحق عن جهل، بينما بعده عن الدليل كان عن إصرار. فالجهل بهذا الضرب خير من القول فيه بغير حجة. لماذا؟ لأنه تقول على الله. وإن صادف الحق، مصادفته للحق ليست عن بينة وليست عن علم، فهو آثم على كلتا الصورتين وعلى كلا النوعين.
So he goes on that otherwise being ignorant regarding this type of beliefs then is better than to have a position regarding it without a proof, even if he matches the truth. Now here he said about this second type of beliefs that if he rechecks himself, if he was upon the truth first and he rechecks his proofs, then the truth will become even more crystal clear and he will be saved from following desires. He said otherwise, being ignorant of this type of belief, which is not the foundations of faith, other than the foundations of al-Iman, being ignorant about this type of beliefs is better than to have a position regarding it without a proof, even if he matches the truth. The Shaykh said that maybe he will haphazardly match the truth, but he is taking that position without really having a proof. So this now is like saying about Allah what he does not know, making a statement about Allah that he has no knowledge of it or about it. So then, even if he matches the truth in this case, he is sinful, because he is claiming something about Allah that he has no evidence or no proof for it.
قال وأما الضرب الثالث وهو الأحكام فالمتواتر منه والمجمع عليه لا يختلف حكمه. يعني هنا في الحقيقة تدقيقات مهمة جدا بها نعرف مدارك الخلاف ودرجاته وقواعده وما يسعنا القول فيه والصبر عليه وما لا يسعنا. قال فالمتواتر منه والمجمع عليه لا يختلف حكمه، بمعنى لا يجوز لأحد أن يخالف مسألة مجمعا عليها، فالحكم فيها واحد، ولا يجوز لأحد أن يخالف مسألة الحكم فيها متواتر، وما عدا المتواتر والمجمع عليه قضايا اجتهادية، ولكن هذه القضايا الاجتهادية فيها تفصيل.
As for the third type, now this is now the religious rulings. The religious rulings allowed and prohibited like that must So he said, what is unanimously agreed upon and what is mutawatir, very similar to agreed upon, then the ruling of it cannot be different. The ruling regarding it cannot be different. And what's other than that, they are matters or they are issues that are within the circle of ijtihad, within the circle of the scholars putting in the effort to reach a conclusion, and they could be right and they could be wrong. So here the Sheikh says that here the Sheikh is mentioning very fine points that are important, by which we could know the different levels of disagreement between the scholars, and what we can bear, or what we can or it's allowable to differ regarding it, and what is not allowable to be to differ about it. So the meaning here, what he says is that it is not allowable for anyone to be differing regarding an issue that the scholars unanimously agreed upon, or an issue that is there is no doubt, there is no difference regarding it. It's agreed upon, so, or unanimous agreement is established on it, so no one can differ regarding that. But then, other than that, there are issues that are within the scholarly efforts to reach a conclusion. And even those qadaya ijtihadiyya, the scholarly, that are under the scholarly efforts to reach a conclusion, they are upon different degrees.
قال وما عداه قضايا اجتهادية، يعني قضايا اجتهادية أي أنها تسمح بوجود الرأي والرأي الآخر ضمن قواعد الاجتهاد الصحيحة.
So those قضايا اجتهادية, issues that are under the efforts, the scholars spending effort in to reach a conclusion, these now issues, they allow the position and the different position. They allow having a position and another position that is different from it.
ثم يعني شرح المؤلف رحمه الله القضايا الاجتهادية بتعبير آخر، فقال يكفي فيها، كأنه يقول هذه القضايا الاجتهادية هي التي يكفي فيها بذل الوسع، كما قال تعالى ما يكلف الله نفسا لا يكلف الله نفسا إلا وسعها، لتعرف الراجح أو الأرجح أو الأحوط. لا يوجد في مسائل العلم إلا راجح وأرجح وأحوط، والراجح يلزم منه وجود مرجوح، إذا مرجوح وراجح وأرجح وأحوط، فيؤخذ به أي بما ظهر لك أنه راجح لتأخذه، أنه أرجح لتأخذه، أشكل عليك تأخذه بالأحوط، وهكذا. هذا هو الواجب تجاه القضايا الاجتهادية.
Then he said, and what is other than that are issues that are within the scholarly efforts to reach a conclusion. It is sufficient regarding them to spend the effort to know what is the weighty, what is the weightier, and what is the safer position, or the safest position, so that you will take that. The Sheikh here, he said that it's as if the Abdurrahman bin Yahya al-Muallim al-Yamani, he's trying to explain or define those qadaya ijtihadiyya, issues that are based upon the scholars spending efforts to reach a conclusion. He says they are then the issues in which it is sufficient that the scholar will put in his utmost effort to know what is the strong, or the stronger, or the safer position so that he will take it. So you have a strong position, which means that there is a position that is not that strong, so weighty, and a position that is not weighty. So you will take the position that is the weighty position, and you will leave, or the strong position, and you will leave the position that is not like that. You will also take the position that is stronger or weightier and leave the other one. If you cannot be sure, then you will take the safest position, and in this way you will be on the safer side.
قال وإنما يجيء البلاء فيها أي في باب معرفة الأحكام من أوجه.
He said rather the problem, the calamity comes in this regard, regarding the religious rulings, the ahkam, it comes from different aspects.
طبعا معرفة الأحكام التي هي ضمن القضايا الاجتهادية ليست الأحكام كلها وجميعها.
He is talking still about the religious rulings that are ijtihadiyya, that are within the scholarly efforts to reach a conclusion.
الأول التقصير في بذل الوسع.
The first issue or calamity or problem that might befall someone in this regard is the first one, to be short in terms of spending the full effort, the utmost effort.
يعني
Meaning,
قد يستطيع إنسان أن يبذل وسعه في دراسة مسألة من 10 كتب.
meaning that the person, the scholar, he might be able to study the issue from, for instance, 10 books.
فيدرسها من كتاب أو كتابين.
But he studies it only from one book or two books.
هل يقال إن هذا بذل وسعه؟
Would you say that this person, this scholar, put in the required effort?
فمن هنا يأتيه الخلل والبلاء.
So from this aspect, then he will be short. He will fall short, and he will be falling into some sort of a problem or a calamity.
الوجه الثاني من الأسباب التي يجيء البلاء فيها.
The second aspect from which the calamity or the problem will happen to the person,
التمسك بما ليس من الحق.
to hold on to that, to stick to that which is not from the truth.
يعني أنت تعرف أن هذه قضية ليس عليها دليل.
Meaning, you know that this issue, there is no proof for it.
ولكن تنتصر لها لا لشيء إلا لأنك قائل بها.
But you support it not because of anything other than because the reason is other than the reason that you are of this position, you are upon this position, although you know that you don't have a proof for it.
ولا شك هذا من أسباب البلاء.
And there is no doubt that this is from the causes leading to problems and destruction or calamities.
الثالث الاعتداد، يعني الثقة بترجيح النفس الذي يكون منشأه الهوى. الترجيح الحق هو الذي يكون منشأه الهدى. فمن اعتد ووثق بترجيحه المبني على الهوى فإن هذا لا شك ولا ريب من أسباب البلاء.
The third aspect or reason or cause for calamity regarding the religious rulings which are under the circle of the scholar's spending effort is for one to give weight to the his own self, making things weightier, making rulings weightier based on desires. So this is now you are so sure about your position, but you are only depending on your soul giving it, making it more weighty, but then is not based on guidance. The Sheikh said it's based on desires.
الرابع عدم الرجوع عما يتبين أن غيره أولى بالحق منه. مسألة بحثت ووجد أن القول الذي أنا قائل به غير صحيح، لكني أصر على عدم الرجوع وأستمر على القول بهذا الرأي الذي ظهر بطلانه وأن غيره أولى منه.
The fourth cause of calamity is not retracting from what becomes clear that other than what you are upon is closer to the truth. So the Sheikh said, let's say an issue that was researched and then it was found that the position that I am upon is not true, but then that person will insist on not retracting from that position, which its invalidity has become clear, and that other than that position has more right to be followed. Yet you find the person insisting on not retracting from that position.
الخامس معاداة المخالف في هذه القضايا الاجتهادية مع احتمال أنه هو المصيب، وهذا ليس مطلوبا. ليس المطلوب منك أن تعادي أحدا في القضايا الاجتهادية. نعم، لك أن تقول هذا هو الراجح، لك أن تقول هذا هو الأرجح، لك أن تقول هذا مرجوح، لك أن تقول هذا أحوط، لك أن تقول هذا غلط، لكن أن تعاديه في مسألة اجتهادية وقع فيها الاجتهاد في من قبلك ممن هم خير منك، وفي من معك ممن هم خير منك، وفي من بعدك وقد يكونون خيرا منك، فهذا لا شك خلاف وخلل وباب للبلاء. قال معاداة المخالف مع احتمال أنه المصيب. كم من مسألة يقول العالم بها اليوم قولا ثم يرجع عنه غدا، كما كان أبو حنيفة رحمه الله يقول لصاحبه يعقوب أبي يوسف، قال يا أبا يوسف لا تكتب عنا كل ما نقول، فإننا قوم نقول القول اليوم ونرجع عنه غدا. الإمام الشافعي رحمه الله كم من مرة رجع من قول إلى قول، وعندما سافر إلى مصر صار له مذهبان. الإمام أحمد كم له من أقوال في المسألة الواحدة؟ قل أن تجد للإمام أحمد مسألة له فيها قول، أكثر مسائله له فيها قولان وثلاثة. هذا كله تغير اجتهاد. قال الخامس من أسباب البلاء معاداة المخالف مع احتمال أنه هو المصيب، وظهور أنه إن كان مخطئا، وهذا مطلوبك، ليس مطلوبك إلا أن تخطئه دون أن تعاديه، وظهور أنه إن كان مخطئا فهو معذور، لأنه ليس كل مخطئ آثما، وليس كل مخطئ يجوز أو أن يعادى، فضلا عن أن نقول يجب أن يعادى. وإنما إذا كان الأمر في قضية اجتهادية إذا بذل وسعه فيها فهو مخطئ ولكن مأجور، وإذا لم يبذل وسعه وأخطأ فيها فهو مخطئ غير معذور، بل قد يكون مأزورا لكن ليس لك أمامه إلا التخطئة. أما المعاداة والهجر والسب واللعن والتقاطع والتدابر فهذه ليست من أخلاق أهل الإيمان.
The fifth cause, he says, which brings calamity regarding those religious rulings that are within the area of ijtihad, is for one to take the one who took a different position, to take the one who is on a different position, to take him as an enemy, to have enmity towards the one who is taking a different position than yours, although it is possible that he is the one who is correct. And also the fact that it is clear that if he is mistaken, then he is excused. So the Sheikh, in explaining this issue, the Sheikh said that regarding those issues of ijtihad where the scholars differ with each other, it is not required from you that you have enmity, that you will have enmity with any one of those issues. Rather, you could say, this is the weightier position, this is the stronger position, this is a position that is not strong, or this is a position that is wrong. But then it is not acceptable that you will be enemies with others because of an issue where the scholars have differed about or disagreed upon. This is a cause leading to calamity. Then the Sheikh mentioned that the scholars, even the same scholar, he might have different opinions regarding the same thing. How many of an issue that a scholar would have a position regarding it and then he will change it. He mentioned what Abu Hanifa rahimahullah said to his student, that don't write down from us everything that we say, because we say a position, make a statement today and then we take a different position tomorrow, another position tomorrow. The Shafi'i rahimahullah, how many times he retracted from a position that he used to take, to a point that when he traveled to the other country, the Egypt, he had different positions, or he had two madhabs, two methodologies. Imam Ahmad, how many of an issues, or most of the issues the Sheikh said that he has, he would have two positions regarding the same issue. So then those, they should not be a reason for enmity. Here the author Al-Muallimi, he says that although you should not take the one who is different from you, who took a different position from you, although there is a possibility that he is correct, and also the fact that it emerges, it becomes clear that if he was wrong, then he is excused. The Sheikh said that not everyone who is mistaken would be sinful, and not everyone who is mistaken then you take him as an enemy, let alone for us to say that if someone is mistaken, then you must take him an enemy, right? Not everyone who is mistaken is sinful, and not everyone who is mistaken, then you take him as an enemy. You do not have anything regarding the one who made a mistake. You have nothing towards him but to say that he is wrong, that to declare that he is wrong or mistaken regarding that issue. But for you to start insulting him, to abandon and boycott him, to cut him off, to give him your back, meaning you turn away from him, then this is not from the morals. This is not from the behavior, the good behavior of the people of Iman.
ولو نظرنا أيها الإخوة إلى أكثر الخلاف الجاري بين أهل السنة اليوم,
and if we look, oh brothers, to most of the disagreements that are happening between the people of Sunnah today,
فإننا لا نرى ولن نرى منه أي شيء ضمن مخالفة المتواتر أو المجمع عليه.
We will not see within those disagreements between Ahl Sunnah anything from the disagreement regarding something that the scholars have unanimously agreed upon, or regarding an issue that is from the mutawatir, that is certainly established.
وإنما كله في باب الراجح والأرجح والأحوط.
All of this disagreement between Ahl Sunnah is within the circle of what is strong, what is stronger, and what is safer.
والمجال في هذه الأنواع لا يعدو أن يكون مجال تخطئة ونقد.
And the difference regarding those areas, then it will be only restricted to the matter of criticizing one another, or critiquing one another and declaring one another to be wrong in that issue. That is restricted to that.
مع العلم والعدل والحلم والرحمة.
Along with knowledge, justice, forbearance, and mercy.
ولا يجوز أن يكون فيه أي شيء من المعاداة أو الهجر أو السب أو الطعن مما كثير منه جار في هذه الأيام وللأسف الشديد.
And there shouldn't, it's not allowed for any enmity or boycotting or insulting or defamation, disparagement. It's not allowable to be about these disagreements that are happening today.
ثم قال المؤلف رحمه الله خاتما كلامه وبيانه: فمن شأن تلك الاستجابة لتلك الدعوة أن تدفع هذه المفاسد.
Then the author said, finishing this discussion, that from then it is from the then responding to that invitation, then if it is done like that, it will then repel all of these types of evil and corrupt ways or harms.
قال فمن شأن تلك الاستجابة لتلك الدعوة. طبعا أنا فسرت الاستجابة للدعوة مرتين تفسيرا ليس بالدقيق. الصواب أن الدعوة المقصودة من كلام المؤلف في هذه الصفحة وقد ذكرها 3 مرات هي الدعوة للاستيقاظ إلى الهوى والتنبه له والحذر منه.
So he said, then responding to that invitation or that call, the Sheikh said in 3 different places that this call or invitation was mentioned. I might not have mentioned the exact way that the author wanted. This invitation is actually the correct way of looking at it. It's the invitation to wake up to the desires, to be cautioned, to take note of it, and to be cautioned against it.
فمن شأن تلك الاستجابة لتلك الدعوة أن تدفع هذه المفاسد. هذه المفاسد أنا أفهم منها شيئين. الشيء الأول المفاسد ال5 المذكورة أخيرا وهي أسباب البلاء. والشيء الثاني مناط الإشكال الأول الذي ذكره في نهاية العقدة لما قال أن هنالك بابا من الضرر سينشأ في تشكيك أهل الحق بالحق. فإذا تنبهنا إلى الاستجابة لهذه الدعوة من خلال الاستيقاظ للهوى والتنبه له والحذر منه مع الحرص على ما يضاد هذه ال5 فمفسدة التشكيك بالحق لأهل الحق ستنتفي.
The author said, then for one to respond to that invitation, then it will, in this way, then it will repel those corrupt matters or those evil matters. Now, the Sheikh said that here, those evil matters that he is referring to, first of all, he is referring to those 5 matters which he called causes for calamity, causes for problem and turmoil. That's one thing. And also by corrupt matters, he's referring to the first matter that is problematic, which he mentioned, and that is the harm that may come about when we ask the one who is upon the truth to check what he is upon. So this might cause some doubt to come to him. But if he responded to our invitation to check himself and to how close he is from the truth, if he followed the way that the author mentioned, then those harms, those evil matters of the 5 and also the doubt, they will be pushed away and they will be pushed aside. So if we are cautioned, if we take note, if we notice the desires, and if we are cautioned from the desires, along with taking care not to fall into these 5 matters that he mentioned, then the harm of being in doubt about the truth you are upon, this harm will be pushed aside, it will be repelled, and it will not actually harm you.
وبعد هذه الجولة كلها,
After this travel, after this, all of this trip,
ذكر مؤلفنا الفاضل رحمه الله تعالى
our noble author, he mentioned, may Allah have mercy on him,
فصلا طويلا أيضا
another section that is long also,
فيما لا يسع المسلم جهله من ضروريات التفكر.
About matters that a Muslim should not be ignorant of, from the basic important contemplations and reflections.
وهي أمور في الحقيقة مهمة.
And these are matters are in reality are very important.
وهي لما ذكرناه وشرحناه تتمة.
And they are actually, for what we mentioned and explained, they serve as they serve to complete what was already discussed.
وكما قلت في اللقاء الأول أيها الإخوة,
As I mentioned in the first lecture meeting, my brothers,
طبعت هذا الجزء ما لا يسع المسلم جهله من ضروريات التفكر قبل أكثر من 20 سنة.
I
في رسالة
actually
مستقلة.
singled out this section that is to come. I singled it out 20 years ago in a small treatise, 20 years ago.
ثم شرحتها في بعض الدورات العلمية في بعض البلاد في عدة مجالس أيضا.
Then I explained it in some of the countries, or one of the countries, in different sittings also, the same section that is to come.
وفي الختام أقول أيها الإخوة في الله,
And at the end I say, oh my brothers in Allah,
لعلنا قمنا بشيء من الواجب
maybe we achieved part of what is compulsory upon us
علما وتعلما وتعليما,
in terms of knowledge, seeking knowledge and teaching the knowledge,
تواصيا بالحق والصبر,
counseling one another to truth and patience,
وتناصحا في ذات الله,
and advising one another for the sake of Allah,
واعتصاما بحبل الله,
and holding on to the rope of Allah,
وتعاونا على البر والتقوى,
and cooperating upon righteousness and piety,
وحبا في الله
and loving one another for Allah and through Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala,
لعل ربنا سبحانه وتعالى يكتب لنا الأجر ويمحو عنا الوزر.
so that Allah may record for us the reward and erase from us the sins.
إنه سميع مجيب.
He is all hearing, all responsive.
وهذا آخر لقاءاتنا معكم في هذه الدورة وفي هذه الرحلة, سائلا ربي أن ييسر لي ولكم كل خير, إنه سميع مجيب.
And this is the last of my meetings with you in this trip, asking Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to facilitate for me and you all that is good.
وأستودعكم الله الذي لا تضيع ودائعه.
And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the Sheikh is leaving us as a trust with Allah. He entrusts Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala all of us subhanahu wa ta'ala. جزاكم الله خيرا يا شيخنا, بارك الله فيكم وأحسن الله إليكم. Inshallah, the Sheikh, inshallah, I hope, inshallah, this is the last meeting, and tomorrow he's leaving. Inshallah, he will go back safely. Inshallah, the Sheikh will come back again, inshallah ta'ala, in December, towards the end of December, bi'idhnillahi ta'ala. So we will, inshallah, keep you updated about the next trip, inshallah. جزاكم الله خيرا. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك أشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت أستغفرك وأتوب إليك. We have 10 minutes up to Salat al-Isha, inshallah ta'ala. So we will call the adhan and get ready for the Salah, inshallah ta'ala. If you want to say goodbye to the Sheikh, then this is the time to do it. So after Salah,